alone should be enough to empower people to be, you know, sort of loyal to the country and not sort of bash the president and the office of the president. I don't know. What are you expecting from the president's speech at the commencement tomorrow?
Well, I would encourage the president or anybody that goes to give a commencement speech to really kind of focus on the students. You know, invariably when presidents or politicians go to give a speech, they want to make a political statement. And I think sometimes that's a mistake. What they ought to do is inspire the young men and women that are graduating, give them hope for the future, congratulate them on the great work that they have done up to this point in time.
Yeah, well, Betsy DeVos tried to do that the other day, and she was booed. It was horrible.
Yeah, I understand, and I mean, this is the mixed blessing of being a politician or somebody in a position like Secretary DeVos, but I think you have to work through that. I think she did work through it. In a way, she continued on with her speech. She made her point that you have to listen to both sides of the argument and not just immediately you know, start booing before you have an opportunity to hear what the speaker has to say. So I wish the president luck in his commencement speech.
Admiral, are you seeing that on the campuses in Texas? I mean, right now we're seeing at UC Berkeley, it's a one-sided conversation, even at Middlebury, right? Speakers can't come on and actually talk freely and in an open forum. What are you feeling or seeing or hearing on the Texas campuses?
Yeah, I will tell you the Texas campuses, for the most part, have been pretty quiet when it comes to you know, speakers that aren't always on their side of the political spectrum. I think the young men and women in Texas respect the fact that there are going to be different points of view. They need to listen to those different points of view. You know, when I came to give this speech in 2014, as you might recall, Condi Rice had been given an offer to speak. And,
at Rutgers, I think.
That's right.
And she subsequently declined. I was a little concerned. I was going to come in uniform and talk to 8,000 graduating students at the flagship university. I didn't know how it would go. As it turned out, they were incredibly respectful and appreciative, and I was equally appreciative back.
Let's hear a little more of that, because that 2014 commencement speech at the University of Texas at Austin is remembered as one of the great speeches ever. Listen to this.
Life is filled with circuses. You will fail. You will likely fail often. It will be painful. It will be discouraging. At times it will test you to your very core. But if you want to change the world, don't be afraid of the circuses.
I love it. I love it. So empowering.
Thank you.
Admiral, speaking of...
By the way, I never walk out of my bedroom in the morning without making my bed now. That I'm ashamed. No, I'm saying, again, it's the little things. Yeah. It is the little things that matter and the sense of accomplishment. And you start applying that, but you realize, I'm gushing, but you realize that you start applying that logic and that thinking to everything throughout your day, from the moment your feet hit the floor.
Well, you're also holding yourself accountable, which is important too. And self-accountability is very important, especially today.
And speaking of those graduates, they're going to face some tough times, as you laid out. I think one of the moments of that speech that stuck with me was the story of the sugar cookie. And for people who don't know SEAL training, maybe you can tell us about that.
Well, the sugar cookie is a term of reference, term of art in SEAL training. When you have to hit the surf, so you go out fully clothed in your uniform, you get soaking wet, and then you roll around in the sand, and you're covered from head to toe in sand, therefore the sugar cookie. But the thing about the sugar cookie, I think, that was tough for a lot of students was that it was completely arbitrary. So if you went in the morning and you had a perfect uniform, your hat was starched, your uniform looked great, your brass shined, your boots looked good, you could still be told to hit the surf and become a sugar cookie. And a lot of students had trouble with that. And the point the instructors were trying to make is, look, sometimes no matter how good you are, you know, no matter how hard you try, sometimes life just isn't fair. You need to get over it and move on. And so, you know, we all become sugar cookies at some point in time. You know, we all try to do the best we can. It doesn't always work out. I don't think you can wallow in self-pity. You just got to pull yourself up and keep moving.
You don't get a participation trophy, you get a sugar cookie.
You don't get a participation trophy, no.
What great advice. These are lessons for life, and it's really important that you're resonating so well with students, and because they're taking away all of these lessons.
Yeah, I'm 30 years out of school, and he sure resonated with me.
Right now. It's good that the president said yes to liberty, and is speaking out. But how should he react if he's got a similar crowd as Secretary DeVos had the other day?
Yeah, I do think you have to continue on. And again, you know, the president is likely, although liberty a little bit more conservative, obviously, so it may be a friendly crowd. Having said that, he will face other crowds that won't be quite as accepting. And I think you have to continue on through the speech, make your point, be respectful of the students, be respectful of the faculty. And again, I think like with Secretary DeVos, you have to work through kind of some of the potential toughness and awkwardness that will happen when you give a commencement speech. And eventually, the students will quiet down and they will listen. And maybe if they only get one piece of the speech, the important piece that talks about inspiration, that talks about respect, that talks about pressing through the tough times, and then it'll be well worth it.
It's great to talk with you, Admiral. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Admiral William McRaven joining us there.